We're going to count to 3. Take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Welcome. I'm Jessica Jordan.
Gabriel Jordan. Husband to Jessica Jordan.
That's right.
That's right.
That's
What's our next
right.
track? It's
my favorite. No, okay. I thought it was. They're all my favorite.
my favorites.
This one's the Stowaway.
This is a good one.
This is a good one. Yes. So this is actually track number 3 on the EP.
Yes.
The Love Between Us. And we've already talked about the chairlift. We've talked about playing a round and
Love Won't
Let Me Leave. So the Stowaway is a song that is a nautical theme about childbearing.
Yeah.
So when we got connected to Krista Wells in North Raleigh, I also got to experience some of my first house concerts.
Okay.
I believe my very first house concert was Nick Flora.
Yeah.
In her, not her living room, but in her house. And he played a song called Lost at Sea. And it was this wonderful ballad about a relative of his who had been in the military, and he had been deployed, and they had stopped at this one port, and they were all supposed to get back on the ship because there was an emergency call, but he didn't get the call. And then the sub ended up going down, and he was the only survivor.
Oh, wow.
And then he kind of ended up living the rest of his life lost at sea,
Survivor School.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I was so moved by just the telling of the story and then hearing the song that my brain immediately started writing a song in my head about just a sea theme. And I thought, well, I don't know anything about being lost at sea. I don't know anything about the military. I don't,
You're not a sailor.
I'm not at all. But I do love all the terminology that is used with a ship. And I thought, well, what if the ship is a woman? And what if there's a stowaway in her, and that is a baby? And
you had a baby at this point, right?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. You started this before.
Yes.
Yes,
because I got to go to a second Nick Flora house concert
Okay.
at Krista's like a year or two later. But yeah, this was the very first time I ever heard him. I don't think you were with me.
No,
I think
it was
I
you
went by
and Abby.
myself. Or no, yeah, Abby went with me.
My
Yes.
sister. Yes.
Okay. I'm getting it straight now. Anyway, I remember meeting up with Krista later after that concert for coffee, and I just had one child at the time, and he was running around, and I remember telling her, I've got this idea for a song, and it's, the mother is a ship and the stowaway is the baby, and I haven't really written it yet, but I kind of feel like I need to finish writing it when I'm pregnant, and I'm not pregnant right now. And we were working on getting out of debt. And once we got out of debt, then we ended up having our debt-free baby, as I jokingly refer to him.
Yes.
Our second born. Anyway, once I had it in my mind, like, well, this is what's going to happen, I started writing the lyrics, but I don't think I finished them until I was pregnant with him. But yeah, most of the song was written before he existed.
How about that? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And once again, I feel like I didn't have my journal on me when I really got deep into lyrics. And so it's like a page that I've like inserted into my journal that has the lyrics on it.
Just do your best writing on scraps, huh?
I do. I do some of my best writing on scraps.
So our middle child, Jonas, loves this song.
He does. He does. Ever since he learned that it was about him and that I would sing it when he was in my belly, he beams. The sunshine explodes from his face when he hears it or when I sing it to him. And he often asks me to sing it to him at this point.
Yep.
So the song is called The Stowaway, but the grand feature of the song is actually the ship. And part of the reason for that is that not only was he our debt-free baby, he was going to be my first VBAC, which in layman's terms is vaginal birth after cesarean. So I had planned a natural birth with my first, and we took the Bradley class. We did all the things, and then I got preeclampsia, and I ended up
it
getting
all fell apart.
Yeah, it fell apart. I gave it a good college try, but anyway, had a cesarean. I had a lot of PTSD from it. A lot of anxiety and depression from it.
Yep.
And before we decided to have another child, I told you, like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing it. I'm going to have this birth the way that I want to. I'm going to prepare my body, and my body's not broken. You know, it's not a lemon, like we refer to bad cars. It is good, and it is capable, and it is strong. And so when I started thinking about, a pregnant woman as a ship, I wanted to like honor my body in a song and prove to myself that before it even happened, before I was even pregnant, I wanted to prove to myself, like in this honorable way, that it was good and like worth singing about and worth celebrating. So that was like where my mind was when I wrote it.
Okay.
So when the song starts, it's about the ship. It says, "Worn, weary vessel with creaking sides, she takes each crest and trough in stride." So that's the picture of her just kind of floating on the sea. "Her mast is heavy with rain-soaked sails." And every time I sing that line, I have this image of me pregnant with wet hair, like fresh out of the shower, like rain-soaked sails. "Not a plank by which she hasn't ailed." And those who have been pregnant know, like, at some point you are just achy. Like,
all over.
Just, you're so achy. And then the chorus begins, "But carries she on a tumultuous sea. From stern to bow, what a fortress is she. Through storms unrelenting, waves crash and break, but this mighty ship can carry her weight." So, I mean, the chorus really was me singing to myself, like, you've been through a lot. You're really achy, but you got this. You can do it. And I actually had to look it up. I kept wanting to use the word keel, and I didn't know what keel was. So I had to Google all of the ship terminology.
I remember this.
Because I was like, what part is the keel? And you're like, I don't know. I don't know. Just Google it. And so then I discovered stern and bow were actually the front and the back. And so anyway, figured it out. And I did work it in later. But so I thought second verse, that's when we need to introduce, the namesake of the song. So it says, "Now deep in the belly, a stowaway. The sea roils around her. She feels him awake. How did he sneak unnoticed below? She'll keep his secret. The cap needn't know." So like in the story of a stowaway, like an actual one, if a stowaway is found out, usually the captain is like, "You can't be here." And they try to throw him overboard, or they put him to work, or they lock him up. Anyway,
Right.
Finding out about the stowaway in real life is not a good idea. But I put that in there mostly just for like kind of snickering. Like, there's not been a pregnancy that we've endured where we haven't found out together.
No,
Like,
no, you've not wanted to look alone.
No, I
when
don't.
the test comes out.
I don't. Actually, if there has ever been a time when I've taken a test without you, it's been negative.
That's true.
So there's that. But so adding the line about like, she'll keep his secret, the cap needn't know, that doesn't mean that I was keeping secrets from you, because some people I think are like, what does that mean? And Jonas in particular loves that line because he's like, "You're the captain."
He does.
But yeah, that was really just kind of a playful nod.
Tongue in cheek.
Yes, tongue in cheek. And it goes back into the chorus and no changes there. And then in the third verse, the stowaway is no longer a stowaway. He is departed.
Mm.
And so it says, now back on the land, his sea legs grown. And I got the phrase sea legs from, I think, a book. I love the movie Persuasion. You know this.
Especially when you're sick.
When I'm sick and I don't feel well, I watch Persuasion. Anyway, in it, there is a naval captain who is talking to one of the characters about his ailments or something. And she said, oh, well, what is it? And he said, land. He doesn't agree with me legs. And I was like, oh, that's what sea legs are. When you've like been at sea so much that like you're used to the, undulation of the waves, and then being on land, it feels weird. So I just thought that would be kind of a fun nod about what it's like to suddenly be not in the belly. And also babies have that way of like scrunching up their bodies. So
because
like,
they're used to it. Yeah,
exactly. And they cry because things are uncomfortable and different. And so, yeah, his sea legs grown. The next line says, he thought it'd be best to head for home. And this is definitely a line about coming out head first, which once people know that, I'm sure they're like, oh, gross. But like, it was very important to me to include that into the song as a positive affirmation, because once you've had a cesarean, talking about having a birth the regular way can be kind of triggering for someone.
Sure.
And nowadays, not enough doctors are taught breech birth. So at least in America, if they discover that you have a breech baby, they will just automatically section you. So I was trying to speak like good things over my hypothetical pregnancy, like that he was going to be head down and he was going to head for home. Let's see. How does the line continue? Though she delighted to be lightened of him, how she misses the boy she'd once stowed within. And I liked the play on words with delighted and lightened. Because it's true. Like as a mom, you're so happy when they are not sharing your body anymore.
Yeah.
But once you are not pregnant anymore, like one of the things that I know most moms miss is looking down at their belly and seeing the movement, because that is a once in a lifetime experience. Sure. There's only a number of months that you get to experience that. And then it's never again. You will literally never experience it with that child again.
Right.
And so you miss that. So, having just birthed a child, that is what I would miss. So I go into the chorus, but I cut it short and we go into a bridge, and it says, she carries on with a seaward song, reminiscing her journeys abroad. And I have traveled many places. I've traveled to Central America and Mexico and China and Japan. And I think I spent a night in Korea at one point, but like I've been around, and sometimes I think about that. I reminisce on that. That was just kind of another playful aside to add into the song. Now that life is different now that I'm a mom. She carries on with the seaward song, reminiscing her journeys abroad. But if she should find some other in time stowed away in her keel, she'll keep him, she will. So I finally learned what keel was. It is the bottom portion of the ship that is the most pregnant, you might say. And it is usually where the storage is kept. So that is where the stowaway would probably have hid.
Makes sense.
But the idea that if the ship finds another stowaway within her, she's going to keep him, that's not some morbid thing of like she's not going to let her child be birthed. Obviously, this is a train of thought I've taken way too far too many times in my desire to completely explain myself.
Right. Over-explain.
Over-explain. All that to say, if I ever got pregnant again, I was going to be excited to have that baby, which then refers to Shiloh, our last baby. So I guess he kind of, in an inadvertent way, is in the song.
There you go.
And it carries on with the chorus a couple more times. And yeah. when I was going to record this with Casey, we did the pre-production where we just kind of record the song as is. It was just me and my ukulele, and we talked about what we wanted. And I said, I kind of want it to sound like people are on the deck of a ship and singing this, so maybe there's accordion, maybe there's stomping on wood, maybe there's, a violin, or maybe there's a trumpet, and I said, like, I kind of have this feeling of like Mumford and Sons, where there's like a lot of going on musically. And so when we recorded this song, we kind of referred to throwing the kitchen sink at it.
Right.
We were just like, all the sounds.
All
We're
the
going to
instruments.
throw all the kitchen sink at it. And so we included stomps and claps, and he had an amazing trumpeter come, and I really wanted you to play it, but you were like, I
am way out of practice on the trumpet.
Yeah. But
Not ready for that.
But he had an artist, and man, I wish I had his name on hand right now. I will give him credits. I will give song credits for this. But the amazing trumpet player that played, he didn't actually know that I wanted the trumpet to coincide with the mention of the stowaway in the verses, but he did it. He magically did it. So when he played the lines in the song, you just kind of hear it coming around every time I'm talking about the stowaway.
Right. So the trumpet is representing the stowaway.
Exactly. It's kind of, he's not speaking in the song. He's never, someone that has the spotlight with his voice, but you can.
But he's there.
He's there in the song.
Hiding in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And that was definitely fun to, it was fun to record. It was fun to watch come into fruition. And it's also fun to hear my kids get excited about a song, because they're not excited about all the songs.
No.
But the Stowaway.
This one, Jonas loves.
Loves it.
Says, "Can I hear my song, Mom?"
Yes, bud. Always.
So that is the Stowaway.
Mm-hmm.
Track 3.
Mm-hmm.
Track 3 on The Love Between Us. The EP. Out soon, possibly out now, depending on when you're listening to this.
That's right.
On all the streaming services. So, but we have done now 4 podcasts.
Yes.
Covering 4 of the 5 tracks. Just one more to go, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Just one more.
Cool. And we look forward to talking about it next time.
Stay tuned.